Hi everyone, it's Moonlight Mason. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're here for the first time, do subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment below. In this video, I want to talk about Trisha Paytas going to the gynecologist, kind of share a personal story with you about me going to the gynecologist. All right, you guys, you gotta just keep watching. Hey everyone, I was just about to film a video, but it wasn't on Trisha Paytas. I was going to film a video on Marlena Stell and Jaclyn Hill, and I still might do that. But then I got a notice from one of my subscribers, and I love when you guys DM me. I absolutely love it if I'm missing out on something. And she said, you know, did I watch the video in which Trisha said something about her wanting to go over to Jason's house to pick up her belongings without calling or just sneak in or something? And I haven't seen that yet, so I'm going to withhold comment on that until I find it and see it. I thought it was her last video, and I just watched her last video, which actually was her going to the gynecologist and finding out that she has a polyp. So I thought, okay, she mentioned about 2 or 3 things in that video that I have she mentioned a couple of things in the video that, you know, had me thinking about a personal story that I'm going to share with you about a time not too long ago that I went to the gynecologist. The first thing that I want to say before I actually tell you my story is that you need to go to the gynecologist once a year or once every 2 years, whatever. There's a protocol in regards to your age. So whatever age you are, you know, you go once a year, once every 3 years, once every 2 years, whatever the case may be, maybe even once every 5 years. Everyone has a different timing, especially if you've had some issues down there. Personally, I've been very lucky in my life, and I've never had any issues down there, and I have everything intact. So I've never had a hysterectomy, or I've never, you know, had any real issues. So I don't like going to the gynecologist. The gynecologist and the dentist are right there. And I love my dentist. I really do. And I mean, even if I were to move really far away, I think I would come all the way to Burbank to go to my dentist, because I just trust him, you know, and as long as I get numb, I'm okay, even though I still get really nervous and everything. But going to the gynecologist, I mean, you guys, you men out there have no idea. It is very invasive. And I hadn't gone for a couple of years, and it was the last year that I was married. So I believe this was like maybe in 2008, and he had insurance, and so I was under Kaiser, and I decided, okay, so, you know, I knew we were splitting up, and I decided, let me go to the gynecologist and go to all these, you know, get all this, a physical or whatever else that I needed with the insurance. Let me go and take care of it now, since I'm not going to have this insurance anymore. So I went to Kaiser, and, you know, they always ask if you want, you know, a male or a female doctor, and I always choose a female because that's what I'm more comfortable with. And I guess Trisha's more comfortable with a male doctor if she did make that choice. I can see that goes with her. So I wanted to share this story because as I was there getting examined, pap smear, the woman doctor said, oh. And I was laying there already screaming because it hurts like you have no idea. And I always tell them before they even start, you need to get the baby one. You know, the spatula that goes inside and opens up speculum. The speculum that goes inside and actually, you know, looks like a pair of thongs, you know, that goes inside, and then it, like, you're gonna, like salad thongs, you know, like this. And they go inside you, and then they you know, turn it, and then it opens like this. No, I guess it opens like this. I don't know how it opens, but it opens you up, right? is so that the doctor can see inside. And to me, there's quite a few painful parts, because when that speculum goes inside me, there's that little part that kind of dips down and up. You know, there's a little part when you first go in that kind of dips down and then goes up. Well, that part that dips down, I mean, it's just not a straight shot up if you know your body. That part that dips down seems to be always like the part that hurts the most or the most sore part for me. And I'm sure that's because, you know, most of the time I'm celibate. Even when I was married, there wasn't really any sex going on in that marriage. So I went and I'm there and she says, uh-oh. And I'm like, what? And she says, hold on, let me look. And so I'm there laying and I was thinking, oh my God, what is it? And she gets that big lamp and that light, and you know, they have gloves, and it's a very uncomfortable experience. And she said, you have a polyp. And I was there and I said, a who? And she said, you have a polyp. And I said, well, I have no idea what that is. And she said, oh, never mind. She says, we can take care of it right now. True story. And I was like, take care of it now? I go, what are you gonna do? And she showed me a pair of pliers. I kid you not. Now, they weren't these pliers, obviously. I mean, they're, you know, I'm sure they're, you know, I mean, you would hope they're surgical tools, you know, like real ones. So she showed me a pair of pliers. I think they were a little bigger than this. And then something like this. Of course, it wasn't full of paint or anything, you know, for like scraping, and something like, you know, like a screwdriver to go in there. And, you know, I'm not sure. And so before I could say anything, she was in there with the pliers because she was going to clamp it off. She said, I can just clamp this off. And there was no numbing. There wasn't anything. It was just like my insides were being torn out of me for just, you know, it was just a little bit. I mean, it was probably, I don't know, maybe like 30 seconds or 45 seconds, which can be a long time, while she got this and I don't know, she cut it off or clamped it off or something and removed it. And then she asked me if I wanted to see it. And I said, no, I don't want to see it. And she said, you know, why don't you just come once a year and then we can catch these things early? And I said, this is why, because look what you just did to me. I said, this is why I don't come once a year. I said, I probably won't go for 10 years, but that's just me. You guys need to go every single year to get preventive care and make sure that you're okay, and that, you know, especially if you're sexually active, you do need to go in there and get STD tested. Like Trisha was saying, she was doing that like candy. And that's smart. It's smart. But I want you to remember that the only reason you would go extra times to get tested for STDs other than your annual would be if you're having unprotected sex, which is a whole different, you know, subject really. But if you're having protected sex, he's wearing a condom. Of course, they used to have the condoms for women too. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if they still have those, but they used to have like condoms for women that you put up there, but I don't think those condoms for women would, you know, prevent sexual diseases. Most or all of the preventive care for, you know, preventing you from getting pregnant for a female, none of them protect you against sexually transmitted diseases. Of course, if you go and get that one shot that they're giving to teenagers now to avoid a certain, you know, disease, you can do something like that. But I would just be very protected if you're sexually active. Anyways, I just wanted to share that story with you because it was really weird, and I just don't like going to the gynecologist. And Trisha has the polyp in her cervix. I'm sure it's going to be an in and out, and everything's going to be okay for her. The other thing I wanted to mention is in the video, I don't remember where it was, but she was talking about how she feels like she doesn't have it together. And I just want to share with you that even if you do have it together, see, there's different areas in your life of having it together. And I feel that when you have a balance of all of the areas, then you have it together. Okay, so that's a balance of being financially stable and being not only being able to provide for your basic needs, but that you have extra to have fun with and some saved for the future and all that stuff. So you want financial stability, emotional stability, mental stability, your mental health, and your physical and spiritual. So all of those need to be balanced for you to feel like you've got it together. And hopefully Trisha will watch this, because I just want her to know that even if she asked her therapist, do you feel like you have it together? I mean, I don't know, maybe he'll say yes, but most people all feel like we don't have it together. That's like my one thing that I ponder so much is, I don't have it together, and what can I do to get it together? And it usually has to do with finances. So, and sometimes emotionally as well, but I'm pretty balanced emotionally. I'm not really up high happy and then I'm down sad. I think it's pretty balanced. I mean, I do have my ups and downs, but pretty much I think I'm a pretty balanced emotional person. Mentally, we can all get better mentally and spiritually. We can all get better at it by practicing meditation for spiritualness, or going to church, or whatever your thing is. And mentally, just making sure that mentally your thoughts, like what are you thinking, and are you thinking any negative thoughts about yourself or any other people? So you want to try and keep it positive, which is what Trisha is doing. And actually, I've been doing the same thing. I'm trying not to worry about things that I cannot change, and worry about the things that I can change. And I'm always a little lost, and I don't feel like I have it together. I'm a little lost on what direction to go in. And my therapist told me that the reason I'm lost on which direction to go in, personally me, is because I was adopted and I don't really know the adoptive parents. I mean, I know them, I do know them, but I know who they are. I can call them on the phone, I can have conversations with them, but I'm not like, there's no, real, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, there's just nothing there for me. They're almost like strangers, because I didn't know them for, long time. I didn't even know I was adopted. And because I don't have an interest in asking certain questions, like my therapist was asking me, well, what did your biological grandfather or grandparents do? Or, what did the biological father do? I have no idea. I'm not interested in even asking him those questions, because there's a whole dynamics going on there. And the same thing with the biological mom. And because of that, of me not knowing that, which really doesn't bother me, but my therapist feels that it's keeping me from being clear on my purpose here in Earth, my purpose on Earth. It's keeping me from being clear on, where I should go, where I should be. I'm passionate about so many things, and narrowing it down is just really hard for me. So I do all the things that I'm passionate about, like making this video for you guys. Okay, and so the other thing that I just wanted to mention really quickly, and I will continue to mention this because I really, really do believe that Jason Nash did not cheat on Trisha. And so anytime that I can say that, I'm going to. So in this video that I just watched, she was talking about her past relationships and how, some have cheated on her. She did make that statement. And then she said, that's why I like being in a monogamous relationship, because you don't have to worry about, contracting a sexual disease. And you've got, she said, if no one is unfaithful. Well, that right there would have been the time that she would have said, like Jason was to me, and shed a couple of tears if it was true that Jason cheated on her. I'm telling you, I do not believe Jason cheated on her, because the girl would be harping on it. She wouldn't be able to let it go that he cheated on her. Instead, Trisha is still talking about Jason. She's still thinking about Jason. She still talks about Jason. Like I said, I haven't seen this where she's maybe it was on an Instagram story or something like that. But, you know, when she talks about her, you know, wanting to go to his house to pick up her stuff, I would say forget about all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's nothing sentimental over there. And I'd like to know what happened to the necklace. I really want to know what happened to that necklace, that really expensive necklace. I think it was like, wasn't it $10,000? Do you guys know? Leave the comments below. Do you know if Trisha returned the necklace to Jason? He probably wouldn't take it. You know, I had been engaged 2 times before I was married, and both times that I was engaged, those 2 guys never asked for my engagement ring. And my engagement rings were, I mean, they weren't $10,000, you guys. They weren't. I think my first engagement ring was like $4,000. And my second one was, I think, probably worth about that much, but we got it at a consignment shop in like a really rich area in Washington State. And so the first ring, the first one that was like $4,000 when I was first engaged, after that relationship broke up, I had gone to the dentist, and the dentist said that I needed some work done in it. I had some kind of a, I don't know what it was, but it was something with one of my front teeth, and I didn't have dental insurance, and it was going to be, you know, quite a bit of money. And so that first ring that I got, I went and I took it to a pawn shop and I pawned it, and I got that money and I had my tooth fixed. And I'll never forget that one. My second ring, I still have the second one. I still have, and of course, the ring that I had that's so beautiful. It is absolutely stunning. I mean, the setting is so beautiful, and it's got really nice diamond on it when I was married. That I still have too. So why am I talking about that? I don't know. I just wanted to let you guys know. And also Trisha, if she's watching, you really never feel like you got it together. You'll always feel like you can do better and that you don't have it together. I don't know if it's just human nature, but very rarely do I find someone, even those who are financially billionaires, it seems like, you know, they always want more. And sometimes it's, you know, shown to us has a facade of, I want to help you guys. You know, this is what I did, and I've done this, and I've made $1 billion, and I want to help you guys get there. But in order for you guys to get there, you guys have to buy my program and pay me money, and that's making them more of $1 million, because 99% of the people want it, but they don't do what they have to do. So, you know, a lot of people buy programs out there. You might be one of them who buys programs out there on the internet, and then you may listen to the programs, take your notes, but implementing is the key. And implementing a new program into your life or something for you to change is hard, because we all have routines. We all have lives in place where we just have to make a living in order to live and pay your rent and everything else. Okay, you guys, I feel like I'm just rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I will go ahead and make the other videos on Marlena Still and Jaclyn Hill, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I love you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.